Welcome to your reading, Sagittarius. We're going to be using the Time Oracle cards and the Tea Leaf Fortune cards today. And then we're going to finish it off with a bit of a twist that if you're looking at developing any mediumship qualities, that we will look at, pull a card on that as well. So let's have a look here. This is really primarily to see because of the new energy coming in next year. I'd like to, and collectively, that energy is going to be amplified, whether you know you're into the man-made calendar or not. That still is energy from the collective that is going to be amplified, right? So I really want to get you to consider what it is that you want that new cycle to look like. And the truth of the matter is that we can absolutely what was going to say, we can absolutely create I don't know what happened just then, our own cycle at any time. We can begin a new cycle at any time, right? But we, you know, just with this new energy coming up, it is going to be, you know, a lot of people do that in the new year, right? So consider what you want that to look like. Take the next 4 months to consider that, right? And we're approaching the last quarter of the year and the cycle. Gosh, there's not many cards out here, Sagittarius. So that's very interesting. Yeah, the last 4 months of the year, and then we'll have the last quarter of this, not just this year, but that entire cycle, right? And I feel like it is that cycle. And I know at the beginning of the year I talked about the year of the 9, and there's been such a shift in me about the illusion not only of time but of the calendar as well, that I had to really question that, right? But ultimately what I came to understand is that it is a collective energy, and so this adds to it. So in that regard, this is something that we also need to be mindful of. Okay, so let's have a look at this first card here, which is Pursuits to Consider. You maintain inherent value, significance, and a keen analytical mind. Make a decision and commence your tasks without delay. You might need to temporarily set aside your career-related aspirations for a particular reason. Dedicate time to this completion of your responsibilities and engage in outdoor activities. This is the opportune moment to seek solutions with patience and, what on earth is that word? Sagacity? Sagacity? I've never heard that word in my life. Remember, just as the saying goes, no pressure, no diamonds. No pressure, no diamonds. Thomas Carlyle. Sagacity. I want to have a look at that. Sagacity. Let's have a look. The quality of being sagacious. Well, that doesn't tell me anything, does it? What is the meaning of the word sagacity? I don't know how you say it even. Foresight, discernment, or keen perception. Okay, great. I've never heard that word. Anyway, okay. Good to know, good to know. Might be my new word for the week. Okay, so future happenings here for you. You prioritize comfort and convenience. The positive influence persists in its growth. I like that. You come into contact with individuals of reliability. Procrastination is eradicated. The circumstances remain favorable. You make the most of your connections and thrive in acquiring crucial information, like the meaning of the word sagacity. Your enthusiasm for collaborative endeavors expands. It's never too late to be what you might have been. George Eliot. I love that. It's never too late to be what you might have been. Nice. Okay, anyway, let's get on to these in no particular order. I just can't believe he's hardly any. Okay, that's okay. table. Hard work ahead. Okay. Okay, so whatever is coming for you, it's going to be hard work. This could even be study, right? I just wonder if for some of you, it may be that you're putting your career on hold to do some study of some sort. Because a table, what do you do at a table? You sit down, well, I'm seeing someone studying. That's what I'm seeing. But also this looks like a coffee table. And that's not telling me anything. The other thing I feel like with this is a table, because I see a handle over here, and it could be like, you know, a table that you put over you when you are in bed, a tray table, right? And so this could be the case for some of you. It may be that your health, or you need to rest for some reason, and it may be the recovery from that this is where the work is required, and things may take a new direction. And at the end of the day, though, is what I want to say is, don't lose hope and don't lose grip of your dreams, okay? Because while this may be holding you back, if this is the case, because this is not going to be the case for everybody, but if you feel like this is holding you back and you can't pursue what you wanted to pursue, it's never too late. You can do that. Sometimes that's just a mindset, okay? But it's important to focus on what is at hand and what it is that you need to take care of at the time. Very interesting. The other thing I'm seeing with this is so much information on this one. This has come up for other people before, but I haven't gotten the messages that I have off this. I feel like this here is a glass table, but it's cracked. And so this could be about repairing all the cracks in your life that need to be healed. This could be internal healing or external. Both, honestly. If there's external cracks in your life, there will be some internal reflection that is needed. And it could actually be self-reflection, because when the glass is cracked, you can't see things clearly, right? And so this may be very necessary to take that into account and do some self-reflecting here. Sun, happiness and well-being. And this is what is coming for you, right? So whatever hard work is ahead, this will be the outcome for you. And, you know, it's the case. We all know that when there's a storm, the sun will shine again. We know that, right? And I feel as though it's important to keep that focus in mind. Absolutely not to ignore what it is that you need to concentrate on, but to remember that the sun will shine again and you will feel that warmth on your face again. Okay? Teapot. Deep friendship with someone of the same sex. So there's someone here who is potentially supporting you. You may know this person, or you may be yet to meet them. And it could even be that whatever it is that you're enduring in your life, or you go through, it may be someone who's gone through the same experience. So this gives you that common grounding. And there's nothing like talking to someone who has been through the same thing. Nothing like it at all, right? That lived experience is incredibly crucial to help with feeling understood, feeling heard, and knowing that there's just some things that you don't need to explain because that person gets it. So yeah, I love that. I absolutely love that. Sitting down, right? This is why I saw this as a coffee table, and I didn't know why, but now I can see it. Sitting down with a cup of tea, spilling the tea with a friend, and having a, you know, deep hearted conversation. Cat, two-faced friends. Ooh, okay. So it's not this friend, but this is something to be mindful of, right? Two-faced friend. And I want to say, Sagittarius, this is also about considering how you are in your friendships, right? Because we can all go back on what we say at times. We can all sit down and have a gossip and not understand the damage it's actually been done at the time, because we get wrapped up at times in the energy of what is going on. And so in that regard, consider what masks are people wearing, but what masks are you wearing as well? Because this reflection, I feel like, is quite a big one in these messages coming through here. And the interesting thing I find is that the cat is facing this way, and there's this one here which appears quite nasty and vicious, and this cat here is facing that way as if to, if I want to say, part of me wants to say turn a blind eye, but another part of me wants to say kind of like water off a duck's back, like not engaging in that kind of behavior. So there could be, you know, if you're hearing things about you, it could be just not taking it on board. It could be not engaging in that behavior. It could be turning a blind eye. So you may hear people talking about other people and not say anything. And that can make us just as accountable for what is going on as the people who are talking, because it is up to us to stand up for, if someone is not in the room to defend themselves, then they shouldn't be talked about. And the other thing I truly believe is, if you're going to say something about somebody that you cannot say to their face, then you shouldn't say it at all. And I think that's very important. Seer, heartache over what you no longer have. So this could be, it could be in a relationship, because this is to do with matters of the heart, but it could be a loss of some sort, whether that be in business. It could be a loss of a friendship, right, because of this kind of stuff. You know, there could be someone that was two-faced and you used to sit down and share these times together, and maybe this has really, really hurt you because you thought you could trust this person, you know, or people. It could be a group of people, even, Sagittarius. And you're finding out the truth. You're finding out that they were not as trustworthy as what you thought, you know, and that can be a real hard truth to face, and it can be very hurtful, and it can be hard to walk away from, because sometimes there are people, that friends that we consider family at times, you know, and then we find out that actually it wasn't what you thought, you know, and it is very, very hurtful. And so give yourself time to heal from that. Bird flying. News is on the way. Okay, this reminds me of the pigeon with the, you know, how the back in the day they used to have the pigeons carrying messages. So I feel like with this one, this could even be the news of what has been said about you. Might not be, but it could be. I'm getting this vision here of the cat going after the bird. And so this could actually be something that stirs up the pot in a massive way. It could be something that you hear, but this may not even be in relation to all the situation. This could be a job, the outcome of a job. Maybe you've been applying for jobs and you get accepted for one, or you go through to the next stage, or whatever. This could be in relation to some finances. Settlement, I'm hearing the word settlement of some sort, or settling. There could be it may not be to do with finances. It may be a case that has been settled. I'm seeing differences of opinion, and then kind of coming to a middle ground on that. So something being settled, differences being settled, put it that way. Hills, obstacles to overcome. And this may be tiring, because it may be, Sagittarius, that you feel like you've just made it over one hill, and oh, thank goodness for that, I can rest and relax now. And then you get to the bottom of the hill and find that there's just another hill, right? Because on top of the hill you go, oh, there's the sun there. There's the sunshine. I see it now. The happiness is there. The well-being is there. No problem. We're there. and then not actually seeing all the other rolling hills. You know, it can all look like it blends into one, and it can look closer than what it is. But remember, what was it I heard the other day? A friend sent it to me, and it's not about the destination, it's not about the journey, it's about the company we keep. And that is exactly the case, right? The deep friendship, coming away from these sorts of people who don't have your best interests at heart. And yeah, you know, this reliability and having someone walk the journey with you can make the world of difference, because you could make it over several hills and not even realize that that's how far you've traveled. But this isn't, let's be honest, about walking over hills. It's about obstacles that are placed in our way that need to be overcome. And understanding along that journey, what are you learning? What are you learning along the way? Because these are the important lessons that we learn that help us grow. So see that growth within you, okay? And this could be healing, the healing journey that you're on. Could be anything, Sagittarius. Boat. Money or property through an inheritance, winning or windfall. Nice. Isn't that exciting? This could be what the news is that's on the way, right? The financial thing. Yeah. It could very well be. How cool is that? I see the sun in the background here. I love that. I love that. Something's been revealed as well, I feel like, with this. Very interesting. Okay. Whale. Great worry over nothing. Yeah, we can do that to ourselves sometimes, right? We can think, oh, it's not going to work out. And what if this and what if that? And then when we actually come to deal with it, we find it's not as bad as what we thought. And the fact of the matter is that we can actually put ourselves through a whole lot of turmoil when we don't necessarily need to. Like this whale looks like it's beached, right? But I feel as though that all these waves here are just going to come and sweep it off the little sandbar that it's on. It's not actually doomed. Oh, there was something else that came through that's gone. What was that? Oh, yeah, I want to say try not to spend too much energy in worrying about things that haven't happened. Or, you know, the thing of, oh, well, you know, if I... okay. We can often try to prepare ourselves for the worst so we're not surprised. That, Sagittarius, can be a trauma response. So be mindful if you are doing that there is some unhealed trauma that needs to be worked through, okay? Because that is not actually a response that is conducive to us moving forward and growing, okay? And these could even be the obstacles. We may have these perceived obstacles that are there, but they are actually not there. That is actually just what we think. And we may be getting ourselves wound up over nothing. And there's a whole lot of energy spent on that, right? Worst case scenario. Go with the worst case scenario and you won't be surprised. Believe me, I used to do the same thing too, but I don't anymore, because the worst case scenario generally never happens. And if it's a really bad thing that happens, it's not something I've thought of anyway. So I was never prepared for it anyhow. And so it's actually a waste of energy and a waste of time. And there's so many better things and enjoyable things that you could be doing, like developing a deep friendship with someone of the same sex, you know, and spending your time in the sun and enjoying what it is in that moment that you can enjoy, instead of focusing on the things that are not worth focusing on, right? I mean, this healing is necessary, definitely. That is worth focusing on. But this kind of stuff, see you later. Deal with the hurt that it creates, but don't pay any mind to it, because it is not worth it. Stalk. News of a birth or a new business opportunity. Perfect. I love this. And maybe this recovery is leading to this, right? The stalk. The other thing I want to say about this, because I noticed the stalk here is carrying a twig, so it's still building the nest, okay? And this is this creation, and this has to last, the stalk. until it's had its eggs and the eggs have been hatched and the birds fly the coop, right? News, it's on its way. Maybe this is the news, right? But, I see this flying the coop. It's sort of like, yeah, anyway. Let's stay on track here. Stay on track, Juanita. So this is about considering, especially with this new cycle, that where are you going to build the nest? And we're talking metaphorically here, but I want to give this to you as an example, because the stork does not want to build the nest in the middle of a field where it can get run over by a tractor mower, or, it's open to predators or anything along those lines. They want to, the stork wants to build the nest where it's safe. I don't know where storks actually build nests. I know it's not in a cabbage patch. Whether it's in rocks or whether, it's in trees, whatever. But it's a place that is going to be protected from the elements. It's a place that's going to get enough sunshine to keep the stork and the eggs warm, somewhere close by where the food can be gathered to feed the chicks, all that kind of thing. So these are all things to consider, though, the long-term implications of the foundation that you're building, right? Or the foundation that you have already built. If it's something you want to continue with, what can be added to it? What can we do to add to that so it sustains the next cycle that's coming, yeah? Because sometimes we can become quite complacent when things are going really well, and we don't necessarily pour the energy into things that are comfortable because we don't believe it needs it. But in fact, it may need it more than anything else at that time. So it's a great time to consider this as the end of the year approaches, right? So the eagle, triumph over troubles, obstacles. Oh, I love this. I love this. So this is you overcoming the things that you thought you had to worry about, but you didn't, because you're overcoming it anyway. But also what I'm seeing here is this bird turning into this eagle, like this development, right? And really, really this massive growth that is happening. And there's a revealing and uncovering. It's kind of like, it's sort of like there was this pattern. Not pattern is the wrong word, because pattern is right. It is the right word. There were patterns that you were doing unconsciously, and they are ones that you want to not continue repeating, like worrying about things over nothing, right? Worrying about things that haven't happened. And as you clear things up, as you wipe away the mess and heal what it is that needs to be healed, you are able to uncover some beautiful display or some beautiful picture or a beautiful life, right? The sun comes out again. And so in that regard, I feel like this is what the outcome will be here for you. Broken bridge, unsuccessful outcome to a problem. Oh, wow, that was just a whole bunch of hypocrisy, wasn't it? But what I want to say about this is that there will be a problem that is not successful, that you don't, I want to say unresolvable is what I want to say. Because, okay, let me just explain this to you, what the message is that I'm getting here. I'm just moving in closer because I'm getting serious. We're getting down to bizzo, Sagittarius. Bridges take us from one place to the next, right? Sometimes bridges get burnt because people are two-faced, right? And so these bridges are never meant to be crossed again. And that's why they collapse and crumble, okay? And while it may feel like a loss, the problem may not have been resolved in the way you wanted it to, it doesn't mean that everything is lost, because there are other things on their way to you, or there is another destination. This could be the obstacles, right? You are meant to go in another direction. We often can get stuck on things that we want and think that that's the way and there is no other way, but there is actually a better way for us, and our higher self knows that. Spirit knows that. Our guides know that. Okay, sometimes we can just be a little bit stubborn and we don't allow those things to take place, and then it all falls apart and we are going, oh my gosh, it's, you know, just all terrible. And in the moment, it's not fun, it's not enjoyable, right? And we can end up feeling very vulnerable. This could be the ending of a relationship and there is no going back, but that may not be a bad thing, you know, not in the long run anyway. So all these sorts of things, it's important to understand that we then get to travel a whole new path, and that is where the benefit is for us. Okay, so Sagittarius, well, for not many cards, I'm pretty sure you've been the longest read I've had so far. So there you go. Let's have a look at this mediumship. Do I want this card? No. Okay, mediumship deck here. See, just for a bit of a twist, if you're into this kind of thing, what you can work on. What messages Spirit has for you. Here we go. The Rose Meditation. Okay. Okay, Sagittarius, let's have a look at this. The Rose Meditation. And this may be something that we will be able to do now. But let's have a look here. Okay, so this card says, when you're developing your psychic and mediumistic potential, it's essential to experiment with different practices and techniques, such as the special rose meditation, which can help your spiritual abilities to grow and evolve. This will assist you in strengthening the loving bridge across both realms. Try this intuitive rose meditation with a friend. Have your friend tell you the name of someone living they know who is unknown to you, so you can remain objective. Now picture a rose in the area of your third eye, whatever color you wish, and then softly concentrate on the person's name you were given. Take your time. Let the symbol of the rose evolve in your mind's eye. If the rose is opening, it could mean the person is happy, secure, and content. If it's wilting, then it's possible that the individual is going through an emotional time or suffering ill health. If you notice a separate stem coming from the rose, this could suggest that the person is taking a different path. Every interpretation will be different. Let your own intuitive awareness interpret what the rose means to you. Now explain what you have received to your friend so they can validate the information. You can also use this form of meditation when you're receiving a symbol, picture, or even a word, either on a psychic or mediumistic level. The rose meditation gives you the opportunity to take a moment and hear the story. I love that. I absolutely love that. That is so cool. I'm totally going to try that. Anyway, I'm going to leave that with you, Sagittarius. I hope that resonated for you. And yeah, take care of your beautiful self. See you. Bye-bye.